My name is Lucy and my daughter is called Rose. Rose was sparkly, colourful, vibrant, fiery, determined. She's quite an independent spirit. It was an early evening and I came in here and she was stood in front of the washing machine, sort of paralysed like this. And I thought, that's a bit odd. I didn't really know about ketamine. Mostly with Rose, it was to self-medicate her mental health problems. She could block out all the other worries. She could block out her eating disorder. But of course, with these things, the more you take, the more you need to take. And it's so accessible. I said, oh, sweetie. I said to her, you know, this is bad, isn't it? And she goes, yeah, it's really bad. And she said to me, I don't know how to stop.
I started taking it because it makes life a lot easier to deal with. I always noticed that I'd have bladder pain in my stomach, I'd throw up. And then the longer and longer I used for, the worse and worse it got. So I've got 23% use of my bladder. You hear 21-year-old girls who've been using for 2 years, having had their bladder removed, but you don't believe them, or you just go, that's not going to happen to me. So you never really take them in.
Ketamine is a very addictive drug, and tolerance will build quite quickly. So that means that people have to take more of it and more often in order to get the same effects. Over time, this can have quite significant impact on both the physical and mental health of a person. Probably one of the most well-known impacts that ketamine can have on the body is something called ketamine bladder syndrome. The body metabolises ketamine through the kidneys and through the bladder. So as ketamine is passing through and touching the walls of the bladder, it's causing damage, essentially like a chemical burn in the bladder itself, and this damages the protective lining of the bladder. Once that protective lining is breaking down, then that can cause the development of ulcers inside the bladder wall and the muscle. So the bladder should be like a balloon. It's sort of stretchy, it inflates and deflates to hold the amount of urine and release the urine. Over time, with chronic inflammation and ulceration, the bladder is unable to do that. It becomes stiffer and therefore unable to function.
We've seen a rise in ketamine use, and the sort of most, I suppose, obvious explanation for that would be its low cost and some of perhaps the technological barriers to get drugs of any kind have reduced with things like social media.
If you are worried about your ketamine use, or you know somebody who is using ketamine that you are concerned about, there are services available that are here to help and not to judge. No one is going to get into trouble for reporting their ketamine use. People are going to be pleased that you've come forward to help. You can go to see either your GP to talk about your ketamine use. They will be able to signpost you onto other services, or you can self-refer to DHI, who will be able to help and guide you through the process of giving ketamine up.
If I was worried about my ketamine use, I would say reach out to DHI straight away. Their drug workers have got a great understanding around ketamine and what a ketamine user might need to get better.
Please get in touch with DHI. They really can help you.